This training will provide an overview of CACFP investigations from Chapter 24, Administrative Reviews and Investigations. This video is presented by the Oregon Department of Education Child Nutrition Programs, also known as ODE-CMP. In this training, we will cover the background information for investigations, including the federal regulations, the reasons for investigations, and what to expect during an investigation. Additionally, we will cover the parts of the investigation process. Once you are done with this training, you will know the purpose for CACFP investigations, meaning that you will know why investigations are conducted and what to expect, and gain a broad understanding of the CACFP investigation process. In the first section of this training, we will cover the federal regulation that requires program investigations, the reasons for investigations, and what to expect if you receive an investigation. Under USDA Regulation 7 CFR 226.6N, state agencies are required to promptly investigate complaints received or irregularities noted in the connection with the operation of the program, and to take appropriate action to correct any irregularities. There are a number of reasons that may result in an investigation. Investigations may occur due to complaints received by ODE-CMP. Complaints may come from participants or their families, potential participants, program employees, or others that have observed concerning program practices that result in non-compliance with CACFP rules and regulations. Investigations may also occur due to ODE-CMP identifying red flags. Red flags include claiming concerns, such as block claiming, where all meal types consistently have the same number of meals claimed each month, or consistent OMER numbers from year to year. ODE-CMP may also identify some operational concerns based on conversations with sponsor staff, CMP web application, or through program announcements. Additionally, ODE-CMP may identify the sponsor as having red flags in the administration or financial management pieces of program operations. An investigation is a review of a sponsor's administrative or operational procedures or practices to confirm compliance with federal and state program requirements. Investigative reviews may involve the following as necessary: a focused review of specific aspects of the program, a full administrative review, a desk audit of program records, and an on-site in-person review of program records and operation. The scope of the investigation will depend on the nature of the reason for the investigation and on what is uncovered during the investigation. Investigative reviews are conducted as unannounced reviews and may review both current and previous year's program records. Similar to an unannounced administrative review, if ODE determines that an investigative review is necessary, sponsors will be contacted by ODE either virtually or in person, and the review will begin immediately. Depending on the results of the investigation, ODE will issue a full investigative review report notifying the sponsor of the findings and required corrective actions, or provide technical assistance. In many cases, ODE-CMP staff will be conducting the investigation. However, in some instances, ODE-CMP may require the sponsor to investigate the complaint or irregularity and report back to ODE-CMP. Next, we will cover the parts of an investigation. Each investigation is different depending on the nature of the reason for the investigation. However, all investigations will include the sponsor being notified of an investigation, an active investigation period, follow-up activities, and an investigation closed letter. ODE-CMP policy is to conduct 100% of all investigations as unannounced. Investigations begin immediately once the sponsor is notified that an investigation is occurring. ODE-CMP conducted investigations may be conducted fully in person, virtually, or a combination of both, depending on the complexity of the complaint or red flag that led to the investigation. ODE-CMP will communicate at the time of the notification whether ODE-CMP will be conducting the investigation or will provide sponsor staff with instructions on how to complete a sponsor-led investigation. Additionally, sponsor staff will be informed of the reason for the investigation upon notification. A required document checklist may be provided when the investigation is conducted by ODE-CMP and identifies the documents to submit to ODE-CMP. This list should be shared with all relevant sponsor staff involved with the CACFP in order to ensure the correct documents are provided to ODE-CMP staff. Failure to submit required documentation may result in findings and potential meal disallowances or other adverse action. An active investigation may include the following, depending on the scope and reason for the investigation: record review of documents from the current and/or a previous month, meal observations and site reviews to observe operational practices, conversations with sponsor staff or volunteers, and conversations with participants and/or their families. Following the active investigation, steps are taken to follow up on any areas of noncompliance. ODE-CMP will provide a written investigation report or summary to the sponsor based on ODE-CMP reviewers' findings or sponsor-reported information. If possible, ODE-CMP staff will hold an in-person or virtual exit conference with the sponsor staff to go over the results of the investigation. If an exit conference is not possible, the written report or summary will be provided by email to the responsible principals for the sponsoring organization. The report will describe any findings, observations, and corrective actions, and will include any adverse actions and meal disallowances. Sponsors that have adverse actions as a result of the investigation are provided an appeal procedure with the review report and have 15 days to file an appeal. If any of the adverse action resulted in money owed back to ODE-CMP due to a revision of a paid claim, referred to as fiscal action, the overpayment will be processed following the end of the appeal period. ODE-CMP will not recoup overpayments if they total less than $600. Sponsors will be informed of fiscal action during the exit conference and will be provided a fiscal action tool, also called a FAT form, with the review report. A due date will be assigned for any corrective actions required to address the areas of noncompliance. Corrective actions must be submitted and implemented by the due date listed in the report. Corrective actions must be implemented effectively and permanently and fully correct the areas of noncompliance. The sponsor will receive an investigation close letter once all corrective actions have been accepted and fiscal action, if applicable, has been applied. This letter officially closes the investigation for the sponsor. The letter includes the dates of the review and corrective actions. It also provides a high level of the applied fiscal action that resulted from the review, or informs the sponsor that the fiscal action has been disregarded if under the $600 disregard threshold. Here's a quick knowledge check. What is not true regarding a CACFP investigation? A. May be conducted by ODE-CMP staff or sponsor staff. B. Is always unannounced. C. Is always a full administrative review. Or D. Is a result of a complaint or a red flag. The answer is C. Is always a full administrative review. Remember, the scope of the investigation will depend on the nature of the reason for the investigation. It may be a full administrative review, but often it is a more targeted review of the specific areas of concern. This training covered the background information for investigations, including the federal regulations, the reasons for investigations, and what to expect during an investigation. Additionally, it covered the parts of the investigation process. ODE supports equity and excellence for every learner. This institution is an equal opportunity provider. Thank you for taking this training.